Welcome again to another edition of Papa Bojo's Kitchen. Well, I'm at my club and I'm making Lazanki. You just saw me make my rolls for the club, and now I'm going to make the Lazanki to make the complete meal. Here are your ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep everything so I've got everything ready to go into the pot. That's the number one crucial thing to do when you're cooking to have fun, is get all your ingredients ready. I'm going to start by dicing my onion. Notice I'm cutting these into slivers. And now that I'm done with my onion, then I'm going to slice my garlic in slivers as well. Very thin slivers. Now that I'm done with my garlic, we're going to move to the kielbasa. To get the bits of kielbasa that I'm going to fry up with my butter and onions, I'm just cutting off these tied ends. And I'm going to cut these into pieces and then dice them up into smaller pieces. So now that I've finished with these small diced pieces, and I'm going to add in about maybe 1.5 cups of already pre-cooked bacon, I'm going to now go to my kielbasa and cut my slices of kielbasa. Now I'm going to cut the kielbasa in half, the links in half, and then I'm going to cut some nice slices on a diagonal. Now that I'm done with the kielbasa, we're going to get to the stove and we're going to fry up our onion, garlic, kielbasa, and bacon and get that all set. Over medium heat, we're going to add our butter and a little bit of oil. I'm going to swirl this around to coat every bit of this with this butter. Then I'm going to add in all of my onion. I'm going to stir this around to coat all the pieces of the onion in the butter, and we're going to let these saute until they're translucent. Now that the onions are translucent, we're going to add in our garlic and our kielbasa. And we're going to mix this all around. And now we're going to toss in our bacon and mix this around. And we're going to continue cooking this until everything is all intermingled. Now we want this kielbasa to brown a little bit. That's when we'll know we're done. Now that we've got just a little bit of char on some of these kielbasa pieces, we're going to turn the heat off and we're going to set it aside. So now it's time to start slicing our cabbage. So what I do is I take and I just cut the end off, and I cut this into pieces around the core. Then I just chop the core off. So next, what I'm going to do is I want this a little like a thick shred. And so that's what I'm going to call it, cut this into like thick, smaller shredded pieces. Sort of like this. So now we're ready to get this in the pot and cook this in a lot of butter. So I've added a lot of butter to the pot. Before the butter is fully melted, I'm going to add in my cabbage. Then I'm going to stir it real well. I'm going to add in my allspice, my salt, my black pepper, and a few red pepper flakes. Then I'm going to stir this up really well, trying to get every single piece of this cabbage coated in that melted butter. Now I'm going to let this cabbage cook until it starts to brown, and then I'm going to want to get as much of it brown to caramelize it as much as I can. So now you can see that our cabbage is brown. We're going to add in all of our onions and meat and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to stir it in. We're going to mix it up really good. Then I'm going to fold in my peas. And peas are optional. I can already hear the Polish police out there saying, "Oh, we never put peas in ours." Well, then don't put them in. This is how I like it. If you don't want peas, don't put them in. This is made so many different ways, and this is being made the way I like it. So now we just have to boil our noodles, add our noodles to this, and our Lazanki is done. So the water's boiling, and it's time to drop our noodles. We're going to stir these and cook these until just al dente, about a minute or two less than what it says on the package. So the noodles are done, so it's time to drain these and fold them into our Lazanki. So now I'm going to mix my noodles in. And by the way, for my Polish friends out there who have been going crazy because I call this Lazanki, I do that because most of the people watching aren't Polish, and it's spelled Lazanki, but it's Wazanki, 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 Wazanki. That's how you would pronounce it. And now we're ready to serve. We have paper plates here at the club, so I take a nice ladle and put this on this plate. So to finish making this great meal at my club, I'm going to take this Lazanki that I have. I'm going to add a little bit of pre-made coleslaw, add a nice roll, and there you have it. A great Polish Lazanki meal. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Papa Bojo's Kitchen. I hope you come and see me again. Smacznego, everybody. Bye.